Greetings, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Welcome back to my Raft series. Today we make some serious progress, so get yourself strapped in, grab some favourite swim fins I guess, a bit of tasty shark to nibble on, and let's get to it. We resume our journeys by not actually being on a journey per se. We're still at the island we anchored against in the previous episode. And we're going to be looking for a bit of revenge here from the shark. We did do quite a lot of damage to the shark. As it turns out, one more arrow actually would have finished him off. But, whatever. Sometimes life be like that. So now that we've got rid of the shark, we can happily loot this reef, and that is exactly what we're going to do, except I was a bit unorganised. I ended up having to make some more swim fins. Long story short, we managed to get those made, but it did sort of eat into our shark-free time. That said though, it actually worked out alright. We ended up clearing everything that we wanted off this reef. The bits that we couldn't really get to, which is a bit of a bug with Raft to be honest, is when the waves are a certain height, they make gathering stuff in the shallow water a bit problematic, but yeah, it's all good. There's plenty of good stuff here. Now, we are also going to be keeping our eye out for a pufferfish. Now, this being a big island, there should be 2 or 3 at least. But we have already killed one because we got our first one and then used the explosive goop, turned it into explosive powder, and then, of course, the first one you get, you've always got to research it. So the next one we get, we will actually be able to use to craft the ammunition for the net gun. So I'm very much looking forward to being able to do that. In the meantime, I've just sped up all of this gathering footage because, you've seen one lot of me picking up sand, you've seen them all. Not to mention that for previously mentioned reasons, I'm just not that happy with how long it's taken me to get up to the point that we are at by the end of this episode. And the footage from this episode was another roughly hour and a half worth of recordings, so there is quite a bit of time involved with getting things up to a comfortable level. Are we truly at a comfortable level? That's debatable, but honestly, I think we're kind of at the 90% level, and the amount of time and effort required to get to a point where I'd say we're 100% ready is just not... I'm not going to justify that. So we are just making good on what we've got. We're going to take care of a pufferfish or 2, and then we're going to move on with our other objectives. Now, we are mostly done with the structure of the raft at this stage, so the need to use every last scrap of wood, for construction has kind of gone at this stage. I mean, we still use a lot of wood, but not nearly as much as we would need if we were still, fundamentally building the raft. So I thought this was a good time to expand the number of smelters that we have. So we've just made a bunch of clay bricks, and we will come back to those a little bit later. In the meantime, we're having a bit of a chug of our coconut berry, God, I've forgotten the name of that drink already, but the important thing is you can see how much hydration it gives you. You can see my hydration bar is going up and up and up, and then it goes into the blue area. Now, the blue area is an area where your tapeworm doesn't, it doesn't deplete at the same rate. It actually depletes more slowly when it's in that area. So there's some really big advantages to getting, super satiated, I guess you could say. But the only real way to do it effectively is you've got to have one of these kind of prepared, thick shakes or cooked recipes to get you into that point. But then it becomes a lot easier to stay there. So, yeah, that's. I'm looking forward to getting some food recipes that we can actually use to make our food last a lot longer as well. Not that we're having any particular issues with food, but when I'm pottering around on the raft, I don't like to use the shark meat or, catch fish. What I tend to do, because it's the most efficient on resources, is I just grow potatoes and then I cook the excess potatoes and I live off those until I'm ready to, grow my next round of potatoes. Now, the pufferfish we were mentioning is right there. And as you can see, every time we shoot the pufferfish puffs up a bit as the arrow hits them. And you just got to maintain your distance. And because they just swim directly at you, it's very easy to shoot them with arrows, and they turn themselves upside down like that when they die. So here we go. We have ourselves another pufferfish, and this one we can actually make good use of. So I am going to continue to clear this reef, and then we're going to head back to base and see what we can do about making that ammo for the net gun. Yeah, I didn't pick up on the noises. There was another pufferfish there. They are so hard to see in the dark. I probably should have just gone back to base and come back when it was lighter, but anyway, that one was a bit of a waste. Because they exploded, we're not able to get any resources from them. So, yeah, that's our 3 pufferfish now expired. There may be a 4th one somewhere, but I'm not going to waste too much time looking. I do, have a bit of a scout around, but I wasn't successful in my scouting, so we're just going to resume picking as much of the island's reef clean as we can get away with, and then we'll head back to the boat and work on our little net gun. Alright, here we are back on the boat. We actually found a recipe in our travels, and it's just this little sheet of paper that you can pin up on a wall somewhere. As you can see, that one we didn't have before, but it appears to use, bananas, which we actually haven't come across yet, and it also uses milk, which we haven't really done anything with yet. So we're going to get access to that in a not too distant future. But for now, we are just working on the whole net gun thing and doing a little bit of a tidy up while we're waiting for that explosive goo to get turned into explosive powder in the smelter. In the meantime, that reminds me that I have a whole bunch of clay bricks there ready to go. We're going to make our 2 new smelters and pop those down while we're waiting. Alright, and there is our net launcher ammo, or a net canister as they call it. We're just going to put all of our bibs and bobs away, and then we're going to take that out for a bit of a walk, and I'll show you exactly what it's for. Alright, so with the net canister in my inventory, as soon as I equip the net gun, it just automatically loads it, so you don't have to hit a reload button or anything like that. Now, we're walking around looking for... Oh, hello! Yeah, you'll do. So, this has a fair bit of drop-off on it, so you want to aim slightly above their head to ensure that you don't miss, because if you miss, that's a very expensive miss, because you've got to go and find yourself another lot of explosive powder, and you know how much effort is involved with that. So you end up netting one of these critters, and then you can pick it up, and as you can see, the view, you better be confident in where you're going. I really wouldn't want to be trying to deal with a boar or anything like that while carrying one of these fellas. So you put him down inside your little enclosure, and I named him Rudy. No prize for guessing where that might have come from. And there was a little, like a scissors kind of, or a snips kind of icon that was on him, and that's because they grow wool. Now, we need to make ourselves some shears, I think they're called, so that we can collect the wool from our lovely friend, Mr. Rudy. Now, we've made our shears. We're also made just a small storage. I like keeping the tools. I like keeping them with the place that I use it. So at some point I do put that chest down, and I end up storing the tree seeds in it, and I also end up storing the shears in there as well. I sort of gapped on that the first time up there, but trust me, that's where everything is at the moment. Now, our first bit of wool that we get, anyone want to guess what we do with that? Yeah, not much of a guess really, is it? We're going to put it into the research table, and you can see now that we have unlocked 3 pieces of armor as well as a backpack. Now, we're going to need a lot of wool, and it does take a while to grow each time. It's probably... I've never actually really timed it, but it would be at least 1 raft day, possibly a little bit longer than that, between shearing and having a new round of wool. But then that is also conditional on the animal having adequate food during that time. Because if they don't get fed, you don't get resources, and they get fed by the grass plots that I put down. And the grass plots, you don't need to do anything fancy with those. You just got to make sure they get watered. And that's part of the reason why I always put the animals on the upper deck. Some of the time when it rains, I don't have to manually water, and that's good enough for me. At some later point, you do get an automated watering system. I'm not prepared to sink the resources into it at the moment. I don't think we've got the blueprint for it yet anyway. It requires power, and you've got to manually load it up with water anyway. And if you're going to do that at this level, you may as well just make yourself another water bottle, fill it up, take it up there, water all your plots, and rinse and repeat every time they need watering. That's probably going to be a lot cheaper. The problem with the automated machines is it's like the mixer, the smoothie maker. They require a battery to run, and until you get a battery charger, the batteries are really only kind of single use. You can keep them until you get a battery charger, but if you use too many batteries, you're just going to be making chests to store all the batteries in until such time as you can get a battery charger. Then I imagine you'll be cheering at that stage, but until then, it's just a bit of a pain, which is part of the reason why I've only made the 2 batteries for now, and I'm going to try and make them last as long as I can. Once I get a battery charger, won't care so much, but until then, I'm just trying to be as efficient as possible. Now, in amongst all of that spiel, we've returned to our cleaning of the reef on the island, and we've got some more odds and sods of all of the most useful varieties. Keeping half an ear out for the bird. The bird will drop rocks on you, it doesn't matter where you are. If you're underwater though, it generally won't do damage to you, but if your head is above water, yes, it will hurt. Yeah, minor ominous foreboding there. Yeah, that bird be telepathic sometimes. Anyway, yeah, I got clonked on the head. The bird is still ever present. Just having a last check of the reef here. I think I've got just about everything that I want from it. When we're ready, we'll head back to the raft and see what our next move will be. Alright, here we are. We've done our big drop off. We've grabbed our bow. We've got plenty of arrows. And, yeah. Anyone want to hazard a guess as to, on a scale of 1 to 10, how successful our little running around with the bow and arrow is going to be? Leave a comment down below. Yeah, I've got the right idea. So when the bird aggroes you, the bird drops down and is actually vulnerable for a little bit because they're clawing a big rock out off the ground to then drop on your head. Now, the trick is, while they're on the ground, yep, you can shoot them with the bow and arrow, and it does, I don't know, does some damage. But, like the shark and like the boar, it does take quite a few hits to kill these things. And trying to hit them in the air is just, I don't know. I remember doing it before in a previous playthrough, but I'd had a lot more practice with a bow at that stage. So, look, maybe eventually I might get good, as they like to say. But for the moment, I think I'm just going to settle for plinking them when they land on the ground. And that seemed to be working okay, but yeah, we've gone through rather a lot of arrows, and the bird is still in the air. And just to add insult to injury, yeah, apparently there's another boar on top of that hill. He forgot to send me a memo that he was there, and to be honest, I don't ever remember a boar being up there, but my memory has never been particularly great, so yeah, whatever. Anyway, we dropped off what little we had on us that wasn't destroyed. We picked up a metal spear that we had, and we picked up an axe, and we're just up here for one job. We are going to kill this boar, which, given we don't have a water source nearby to hide in while we do this, this is a little bit fraught with peril. It involves a lot of jumping and a lot of sidestepping to try and not get gored by the boar. And as you can see, we are only very lightly successful with that. And then we slide off the side of the mountain. So, being a complete glutton for punishment, I wasn't prepared to accept that. And there's a heavily damaged boar up there, and I want to finish him off. So we left him behind. We brought our shovel because I was thinking I hadn't cleared that cave yet, but I did that when we first arrived and I'd kind of forgotten. We are deliberately just looking to dodge the bird at this stage. We picked up the chest. We're picking up everything else that we can pick up. And at the same time, we're going to get the boar somewhere we can work with him and make sure that he dies and not us. Yeah, that was an admirable goal, and we actually succeeded. The boar did fall off the mountain, but we actually looted the boar at the bottom of the hill there. And at that stage, even though I'd sunk a few arrows into the eagle, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to persist with it, so I just cut my losses basically. So we're just doing a little bit of maintenance work here as we get underway. And we're going to go back to the radio, and we can see that there is a blue blip ahead. Okay, the blue blips are usually the big islands, so I'm thinking, yeah, alright, I still need pufferfish, so let's set sail for this big island. And it's not a big island. This is a special location, and it represents, from my perspective, the first step in the main storyline. So we've slowed to maneuvering speed here, and we're going to approach said landmark. And in doing so, I'm also going to bring this episode to an end. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to consider subscribing if you have not already subscribed. Look, if you're feeling generous, hit the notification bell as well, and you'll be apprised of any future releases. Until next time, my name is Rudimentary Rob. Thank you very much for watching, and make sure you have yourself an absolutely fantastic day.